Hello and welcome to Get Into Games on Air, a podcast about board games and the people who play them. My name is Craig, Get Into Games, and joining me as ever is Rebecca.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. A little tired.
I'm tired.
A little expoed out, if that's
I don't think I'm
verb.
expoed out. I'm tired out.
I'm just taking it all in now.
I think so. I think my voice is husky.
I don't think I could have done any more expo though.
Any more expo? I couldn't have expoed more.
I enjoyed it while I was there, but I'm also kind of relieved that we can now chill.
Definitely.
Until tomorrow when I go away. But
that's another thing for another time.
It is another
you don't have to worry about that too much. So we've had 3 to 4 days of board game expo. We've had just finished up the final day of ukge, and today's episode 21, top 7%. That's the name of this episode.
Who told us that?
Our good friend from Shirts and Merch.
Oh yeah.
Apparently we're the top 7%. I don't know what that means.
No, it was if you do more than
21 episodes.
If you do 21 episodes, you're in the top
7%. So 7%.
I don't know if that's
most
a real
podcasters,
thing. I don't care.
Most podcasts don't pass 7 episodes.
And people give up too easily.
People give up too easily. But I will never give up on both of my listeners.
We'll just keep chatting away.
Absolutely.
Even if no one's listening.
Yes. That is what it's like being married to Becky. Chat away and she'll never, ever listen.
I do listen.
So, in today's episode, we are bidding the normal What's the R table for the week. Because
I was a bit remiss. We enjoyed the expo so much that I sort of just lived it and didn't stat it. No. So while I'm away next week, I will probably go back and retrospectively, because I've got pictures of all the games we played.
Yes.
So we can retrospectively stat it.
Yes.
But we were just enjoying and flitting from one thing to another. So
indeed,
we did not stat.
We did, yeah, exactly. So, where to begin? I suppose we begin.
You begin at the beginning.
I begin at the beginning.
Thursday night.
Thursday night. So Thursday night came, and we popped up to the press event. We didn't. I did with our good friend Dale. Or should I shout Dale? Because he likes
Neurodicey now.
Neurodicey on the Instagram machine.
Or Mr. D Chips.
Mr. D Chips. We went up for the press event on Thursday to get our tickets. It's always good about Thursday is that everyone can go and get their tickets. And again, it's something about UKG. You get your tickets on a Thursday if you're going Friday and you're staying up there on Thursday night for the Friday morning, you can get your tickets early, which is always nice.
I think it just saves the standing in the queue. And I mean, on Friday the queue wasn't so bad, but on Saturday it was quite busy.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So if you'd have had to go and queue up for your tickets and then go into the expo, you would have been wasting precious expo time. So Thursday we picked up our tickets, met lots of Instagrammy friends, new and old, not as their ages. They are just new, or they're not new. So we met a lot of new friends, familiar faces, as well, which was really nice. It's nice to always catch up with everyone, see everyone. The Instagram community is booming, and more people are coming along, joining, which is great about the community. Just means there's a lot more people to meet. But people are really supportive of what each other are doing.
Absolutely. So we're always there, have each other's back, and are always on each other's side. So that's really nice. It's just a really nice.
How did the press event measure up to last year's?
So the main difference was it was bigger. It definitely felt bigger. I would argue that almost the press event was the size of the vendor hall for Aircon.
Okay.
Arguably. Not quite as big, maybe half the size. Just because, if thinking about the way it's spaced, more so. Hachette had all their games, whereas normally at a vendor like Aircon, their games would be on every game would be on a table. This was like they were in a big long row. But it was really, really good to see.
I've never been to a press event.
No.
Because you won't take me. No.
I won't take me. I refuse. Point blankly, it's my only day that I get by myself.
But what's the idea behind it?
So the great thing about the press event is for people who get press passes, whether they're press or not is another question altogether. And what is press really? Basically, it's to see the games that are going to be at the expo before the Friday, so you can make your plans better for Friday by seeing them on the Thursday, the day before. It's just a pre-event, so see some things before the big day. So some of those games that people are going to be rushing to, you can kind of get in with and see, and have chat to the publishers, have a chat to everyone before you go and there's 30,000 people trying to see one game.
I'm also guessing that the idea is that you maybe produce, like I know that Board Game Review UK produces like a UKG guide from what he sees at press.
He does indeed. Every Thursday night he'll produce it, and then it'll be out and ready for you to look at.
So you can almost give your viewers, listeners, a kind of preview of what they want to go and check out.
What they should go and see. Absolutely. And that's the main thing. And it's also good for networking for people who are doing things like podcasts and YouTube and Instagram-y stuff and website stuff. It gives people a chance to network, see publishers and stuff, and have that closer one-to-one time, which is really good. So yeah, I mean, the first game I walked up to was one of the hottest games of the expo, which is SETI from CGE.
It was only on a tiny table for most of the expo.
Yes.
But it was always surrounded by people.
Yeah, I mean, it's an Essen release, I believe. It's out of this world, literally. It's a space game, so it is out of this world, and you're sending out satellites to chart different areas of space, and there's like these pieces that are a puzzle, and they join onto the thing when you've explored certain things in it, and you can choose to rotate the solar system around the sun in the center of the board, and it's chef's kiss. I cannot wait for that game. It's gonna be not only does it look amazing, I just think it looking at how it plays, it's got that rewood components, so it's not that plastic stuff. It's the same stuff that you get in Kutnahora and stuff, which is they look like perfectly crafted minis, but it's all wood rather than plastics. So I saw that on the first game I saw at the trade show. Dale and I decided that we would head to the back and car boot sail our way up to the front. And
did that work out for you?
It really did. It was the first game we saw, and I was like, well, that's it, expert done. I've seen the best game. What more do you want me to see?
It was interesting because you'll probably talk about this later, but you said to me you weren't sure what you were going to see at the expo because you hadn't like sort of heard any buzz around certain things. So the press event was great because then you were able to kind of see some of the there was talk about there were games that were launching, but so last year there was like the hotness of like After Us, and it sold within minutes every single morning that they opened. There was nothing like that this year, to be fair, that sold in minutes, and Earth that sold like incredibly quick. There wasn't anything. I don't know, I think like Windmill Valley sold very well for
it did. Windmill Valley did sell incredibly well, and but they did have a huge amount of stock to shift. So,
but things like Far Away, you couldn't get hold of that medieval game from Hatch.
Middle Ages.
So there were things, but I don't think they were like must rush in the first 20 minutes to get.
But I mean, so back and back to press event, I saw Unfringed Things with Molehill Meadows. So Chris and his partner, they were just great games, and we just went up and down. Lots of things just stuck out for us. It was what was really good this year. Like for a lot of times, the press events for me, they have a lot of the table. The way it was organised seemed better to me. It was literally rows of tables rather than I mean, it has been before, but it feels like you could actually go through like a journey when you were looking at the books, like looking at the games, like you were moving up and down, and you could actually enjoy them, seeing them and ask questions and talk about them. It was the first time that, like, normally I go around and I'll do a couple of loops because it's normally a bit smaller, to be fair, and then I'll go, okay, I'm done. I can go and play some games with friends or whatever. But we literally got like 3/4 of the way. There was still another row, and it was almost 8 o'clock, and I had run out of time. So I ran. We quickly did the last row, and then because I saw Patterson games and I saw Luthia, and I needed to see it, even though I had a meeting the next day to see it. I wanted to see it before that, so I ran to it. I didn't run. I don't run.
I think I've got video. Well, I didn't get the video of you running, but I think that there were enough people who saw you run.
I don't run unless it is to get into a live video of John from Trywin Games, who's trying to do a very sensible, serious live, and I felt like the need to interrupt.
And also take 3 friends with you.
I didn't take them; they chose to follow.
So then there's just 4 of you running through the open gaming halls to go and disturb.
They didn't have to. They didn't have to follow, but I'm sure glad they did.
You can check out the video of them sauntering back on my Instagram.
Yeah, actually, if you want to see us bad boys returning after our mischief, check out at Mrs._GetIntoGames.
So that was the press event.
Yeah, so the press event was really good. They already do the awards as well, which actually we'll have to do another episode. We'll have to talk about this because I've not really looked. We haven't gone through the winners.
I've seen a couple of winners pop up,
but I can't remember what we said because we said we'll do an episode.
But the plan is that this is just very much us talking after a long day, a long weekend. So you're just going to get blah 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 blah.
Yes.
And then next week we'll do a more organised kind of focus on games. We might do a Kids at the Expo kind of episode.
Yeah, definitely.
And we can touch on the awards and things. So this is just our first impression.
Yeah. This is a tired Craig, and no podcast is better than a tired Craig podcast. But yeah, there was lots of cool stuff at the press event, which we will go into probably because we saw a lot of it again at the main show. I saw Divide and Conquer
shall we,
and a lot of that sort of stuff. So yeah,
shall we talk about Friday?
Because
Friday was lots of meetings, really, wasn't it?
Yes.
Kind of meeting up with publishers and
it was
creators to talk about their games, which was really interesting, and
really
I really enjoyed it. You had more meetings this year than we have
ever had before.
I think we had a meeting every hour, and some we had 2 meetings. And
well, essentially we would have had a meeting every single one meeting. Ouch! That was my toe. Sorry, everyone. We did have a meeting basically every hour. Within reason, there was like a couple of half an hour within half an hour, and then we had like a 2-hour break.
So we first of all got there at 9 o'clock.
We did. Rushed
in to Patterson Games, where you were desperate to show me Luthia.
Yes.
So we love Distilled. Distilled is amazing. You've convinced lots of other people to buy Distilled.
I have.
And Luthia is their new game, which is about
making
musical families who make violins, essentially.
Yeah, and other musical instruments.
Yeah, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
There are sort of musical dice, which are kind of, I think, wooden.
They're wooden.
With musical notes on them. They look amazing. Everything has been checked out to be like historically accurate.
Yeah.
The artwork is amazing.
The artwork's Vincent Detrate, so it's going to be incredible. It's that much.
It looked like the presence at the table.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
That's the thing with Patterson. They are theme first.
Yeah.
They're a theme first concept. Distilled has been, how do you make whiskey or whatever? This is the theme we need. This is how the process is. So we need this to be thematically correct before we go into mechanically correct.
They definitely research their games. There's a lot of thought behind it. The families you play as were actual families.
Yep.
There's an area control sort of aspect to it. There's a deck building aspect to it. There's I think he went through all the mechanics and if you can think of a mechanic, it's in the game.
Yeah, there's there's worker placement, but the worker placement blind bidding. So the workers are really interesting. The workers have a number on the back. You know what number it is. So when you place your worker out, you can, if your number is higher, so if you want to go to a specific area, you place your worker there, and if someone else wants to go to a different area or the same area, they put their worker there, and then you basically put them on this grid, and then you flip them over, and whoever's got a high number kind of goes to the area. So there's a blind bidding worker placement. There's an engine building.
The way the order goes is you put your counters on the.
It's like a violin fret of a violin.
Yeah. So you lay them out on that.
What do you call it? Yeah.
I don't know what the technical term is, but it's cool.
Yeah, and then there's you can have these people that are coming in to your look at your instruments, like you've got Mozart and Beethoven and stuff like that, and when you fulfill their criteria, the longer they're there, there's like a patience track, so they're losing you gain benefits the longer they're there, but the longer they're there, they're also losing patience, so you have to fulfill their needs before they run out of patience and just leave. And when if you fulfill their needs, you turn them upside down, you flip them, you put them on your board, and then there's like an engine building sort of thing. So you're going to get loads of combos and stuff like that through that side of it. And
you can fix musical instruments.
Yep.
But if you make a new musical instrument, that sort of trumps fixing an old one.
Yeah.
And then you put your instruments into the orchestra. That's the area control bit.
Onto the first seat. Clever. So there's a lot of it's really interesting.
And I don't think there's many board games around making musical instruments.
There's none that I can think of. So this year I have noticed this year's theme is musical games, because you've got the roll and write, the roll and draft, the rock and roll, rock and write, or whatever it's called, that game. This was a roll and write about music. There's the Hard Rock 1977, the one from De Vere, which looks incredible. And the player boards. The player boards are amps. So as you're doing stuff, you're turning the amp dials to the.
But that gets away from UKP. We did not see that at UKP.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, it was at the press event, and it was at De Vere
on the stand.
Well, you didn't open your eyes.
You didn't point it out to me.
Well, there you go. So we have to go back.
Good.
Go back tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough.
Hope Cosmos.
Where did we go after Luthia?
After Luthia, we had a lovely meeting with Sit Down Games.
Oh, yeah.
So we saw Sit Down Games. We saw the wonderful Sophie there. And she ran through
lots of games.
We
saw about 5 games.
But 4 or 5. Yeah, we saw.
We saw Maps of Mysteria.
Maps of Mysteria, which is Mysteria. And it is it's a very similar to an Akui with tiles that you're placing on your board. And
there's a common map and your own map, and you put pieces out, and that sort of symbolises that you've seen something, but you might have misseen it. So initially you can put that on the common board, but with mist around it. Because you're not sure whether you've seen it, then if somebody else puts the same token, it's actually revealed as being that thing. Really interesting. Cool, and we will review it because we have a copy. So.
Yes, and also we saw Redwood. Redwood looks very interesting.
Not taking photographs.
Taking photographs of wildlife. I like the idea that you're taking this panorama and you've got these cards that you have to get. This tableau of cards. And everything on the board of where your cameraman is taking a photograph needs to be on the card that you're getting. It looks quite interesting.
You put the piece, so you sort of place where you're going to take the photo.
Yeah.
And you only have limited, I think, photos that you can take, or there was some limitation to it.
5 or something.
And then you take the photo and you put the pieces that are in the eye line of the photograph.
Photography,
and then you score some points, I guess. Looks very interesting. We saw, which I was intrigued about, that open season, which is a new one coming out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a drafting cards.
Yeah, so very soon, I think it's July this year. It's called Open Season. Basically, you are demons hunting for people, and you're placing out different multiple type of monsters. And you play 2. You'll play one onto your board, and then one into a different area of your board, and then when they all combat for match.
Score different points for ones that you've stored away, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you need the ones to match and stuff. Yeah, it looks really interesting. The artwork is really cool. The art of the monsters looks really good.
We saw the new Magic Maze.
The new Magic Maze was called Magic Tower, which is so the one main thing that they just done away with. So Magic Maze, I love Magic Maze as a real-time game. It's one of probably the best real-time games that we have.
Yeah, it's a bit stressful when the person gets the
red thing and just bangs it on the table.
Do this now.
But the good thing about this, it doesn't have a magnifying glass. It doesn't have one of them either.
It doesn't have a sound timer.
Correct.
So there's no panic about how much time you are running out of. There are lots of boards that you have to sort of work your way through. The cool thing about it, I thought, was the way you sort of do 4 levels and then they make a bigger.
Yeah.
You put the 4 levels that you've done, you turn them over, and it creates a bigger level.
Yeah. I think there was a couple of modules to play it, wasn't there? You can have like a pile of 9 tiles, and you have to work because you're basically going down a tower, and the tiles are just in a pile, and you have to just work your way down and down and down and down to the last thing.
Yeah, but you definitely have to put these together once you've done a few, and then I think even then once you've done 4, you could make it into 8.
Yeah.
I'll have to look more into it, but it definitely looked interesting. And then there was a new game. I can't remember, was it called Octopus?
Well, the code name is Octopus.
Oh, codename Octopus, which is very cool, and sort of involves a wooden cube, much like the planet hexagon
thing.
Prism. I don't know. Can't remember what the name of it.
Big
tetrahedron or something like that.
Big blue thing with magnets.
No, it's not a tetrahedron. That's going to annoy me.
Big blue thing with magnets.
Anyway, you can tell Greg is getting annoyed with it. So it's basically a cube and it has magnets on it, and you have to roll your cube over and turn it over to sort of collect pieces that then go onto a scoring board.
Yeah.
But it looked really interesting and really puzzly, so that's one to look out for.
Yeah, it was very, very prototype. It's not going to be it's going to be like a 2025 game, but there's some really good ideas coming from it. It's a really cool method. You're just rolling this cube through this pile of things.
I think what I really like about sit-down games is they seem to be going very much down a unique route. All their games, I can't think of any other games that are quite like the games that they're putting out. Like they've gone for okay, well, we're going to try something different, which I think is really good.
Absolutely.
They're not sort of resting on their laurels.
And Magic Maze the Tower is an Essen release this year.
Yeah.
So that's one of their main Essen situations, which is exciting.
Also, I'm not sure that this is the right order, but we also went to Molinaris Games.
This is not the right order, but yes, we did do that.
Doesn't matter really what order we did it in. Where we were a bit early for our Time Troopers demo, so we were treated to a game of Shoal by the designer of Shoal. Now, Shoal is a sort of tile laying, it says the Fun Fish Layering card game.
It's by Mike Peacock.
And he was lovely, by the way. And you have to layer up your fish to build out a shoal. There are several different objective cards that you're working towards scoring points. Really easy, but really not really easy to pick up, but like really puzzly to try to work out how to lay it up, because you can't lay a fish on other fish.
Yep.
And the fish have to be facing
you have
to the left, so you can't like just turn it around and place it wherever you like.
You have to layer the cards together, and it's a real
fish
puzzle.
all have to be connected. You can't leave gaps between them because there has to be a shoal. Obviously, that's the name of the game.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
I think it's one that's going to get to the table quite a lot because it's good fun. So then we went for our demo of Time Troopers.
We did.
And I was a bit apprehensive because it's another card game and I wasn't sure whether that would be something that I'd be interested in. However, it is a story-driven card game.
Yeah, it's like a campaign.
And essentially you are saving up time so that you can attach equipment to your character so that you can fight the locals and the Scorpion, who are sort of another set of bad time travelers, I presume, who are trying to, stop you from doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
There are little like hidden side quests.
Yeah, which is really cool. Yeah, there's a really cool mechanic. So basically, it's like a bit like a TCG. You're the sort of thing. You're playing a card out, you're tapping it, that kind of thing, to exhaust it and then put them in. But there are in the deck. There's like a side mission, so you can, whilst trying to do the main core of the mission, you can start doing the side mission. And if you complete the side mission, you get to gain like a more powerful card to add to your deck as you're building a deck, going through the story. And you're traveling through different eras. So you've got like prehistoric and all that sort of thing, and Vikings and Genghis Khan and all different eras.
However, cool. From speaking to the guys who are creating the game, they are very keen that they bring a full game. That it's not you buy an era, then you have to buy another era to add on to it. I think there's 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8
eras are going to all be in the box. The artwork on the cards matches the era. The dice that they've thought about are going to try and match the era. So, like, for example, the first era we played had sort of like, I don't know, silver.
It was Egyptian themed, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was like kind of a silvery grey dice. And then for others, there would be a wooden dice.
And the Japan one was like the blossom colour, so it was pink, like the blossom.
So they're thinking, it's not ready yet. There's several eras that are ready.
Yeah.
But we saw, their like kind of rule book that you read through in its sort of purest form, and we can see the work that's going into it. Yeah. And I think that it's going to be really something special.
Yeah, it really will. So it's a solo or cooperative game. It's aimed for solo, but you can obviously cooperatively decide what you're going to do as you play. Really good.
It's
really
very
looking forward to it.
To their other games, I think.
Yeah, when you've got shoal and lakes and
ocean
pods, and then you've got this.
But I think that they're now putting all their efforts into this Time Troopers. It's a labour of love. I can see the passion. We're going to try and get them on the podcast so that they can express that to you, because actually I think they're the best place, not us.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But if you ever get the chance to check it out, go and have a demo of it, because I can't express how cool it is.
It's really good.
Really good.
You did, yeah.
Where did we go next?
We also had a meeting, which was very exciting. We got to have a chat and a little meeting with interview with Eric Lang, the designer of things like Blood Rage and Ankh and things like that, and chat to him about his new game, Life of the Retaria. It's he was such a lovely guy, like so down to earth, so just happy to be there, kind of thing, and happy
really
to talk about his game.
Kind of I got from him that he just wants to make his games accessible for everybody, include everybody, have something that's not like rules heavy. It's just like get in, play, enjoy. Great.
Yeah, he with Life of the Terrier, he wants to make a quote unquote gamer's game, but a accessible one without any board gamer jargon, none of this tile placement, no mechanic chat. This is the game, this is how simple it is and straightforward it is, and it is.
I can't remember what he said, but he basically told us the rules of the game in about 3 sentences, and he went, so now if you sit down you'll be able to play it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, so you're basically rebuilding a civilization by placing tiles and things. It looks really good.
He was a really cool guy.
He was really nice. Yeah, he was really funny.
Very giving of his time.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a really cool experience to meet him. We then went to see Board and Dice.
Mm-hmm. Who I think absolutely smashed the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah.
When I walked past on Sunday, they had very little stock left, so I think they, the planning on their part was
didn't have to take anything home.
was great. They absolutely smashed it. I think.
Yeah, they had piles and piles. They were obviously demoing Windmill Valley, which is their latest game, which we're lucky enough to have a copy of.
We will review that.
To review and chat about on the podcast. And
they've got things like Barcelona,
Nucleum, and they were showing us some of the new
Books of Time, which we have reviewed.
We're reviewing soon.
Well, we have said how we felt about it.
It's books and it's time.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And they were doing the side quests and showing off some of the new side quests that they're coming out soon. They've got an Isle of Cats one due out, I think, for Essen.
Yeah.
Should be exciting.
Yeah.
They were really nice, as always, lovely to have a chat to.
It's so interesting to kind of get the insider gossip on, not gossip, but the insider view on things. How things are going, which games are
doing
well, and which games, it's fascinating to me to learn about these kind of things. I know you do it all the time, but for me, I was like, I just got loads of questions because I'm just really interested in how this is working. And, which ones are your best sellers and
what's going on. And and there's just a lot of cool games, especially Board and Dice are just knocking out the park. They're one of those brands that, like De Vere, just don't really seem to put a foot wrong.
But again, Sit Down, they're going for different themes, different ideas. They said that once upon a time, Board and Dice would have been deemed as the beige games.
Yeah.
But certainly now they've full of colour.
They've changed their art and design, haven't they?
Yeah, they're full of colour and vibrancy and excitement.
Yeah.
So
and when you look at Nucleum, it's completely flipped the other way, bright luminescent green. Yeah. The room beautiful, all these red tulips and everything. Yeah, stunning. So that was Board and Dice. We also we went to Hachette.
Oh yeah.
And we had a whistle stop tour of the entire stand with a wonderful Rob.
It was really. I mean, if somebody gives of their time, Rob gave of, as much time as he could to show us every game they were demoing.
That's one thing I think about Hachette all the time is their demoers, they're Flav and Rob, they're just so giving. And it's so nice to everyone that comes to the stand, and they really make you feel welcome and really draw you in.
But, when we went to go and play games, there was always somebody there ready to teach you. It's understandable why people flock to that stand because actually they know they're going to get a good teach, and then they're going to get a good playthrough,
and they're going to play really good games.
Yeah. So we saw a game called Chronologique, which is a bit like Turing Machine.
It's made by the same man.
Where you are trying to work out
it's Turing Machine
who murdered somebody, basically.
Yeah.
And you have to ask questions about the characters and where they were in the setting and at what time.
Yeah.
And essentially you take a person card and a location card. You put them together, there are little holes, and it will give you a piece of public information, which you then share with the group, and a piece of private information, which you then keep to yourself. Then you go through the various stages of that to work out eventually, in the case that we were doing, who had murdered the detective.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think it was difficult in a convention with the hustle and bustle and the noise to really concentrate. You really need to concentrate on what's going on. And I think if you play it, because we only played it with us two, I think if you play it with more, there's more information bouncing around. Because with playing with two, I feel like could drag on for quite some time.
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah, but that was nice.
We saw, what else did we see? We saw the medieval.
We saw Middle Ages, which is designed by the.
It's not called Middle Ages, though, is it? It's called something Middle Ages. I don't know.
Anyway, Middle Ages
by the guy who
made by that looks really fun. A bit of engine building and that kind of tile placement, which looks cool.
We saw Loot and then went back to play Loot on Saturday.
Yes.
And then bought Loot.
Yes.
Because we wanted to play it straight away. It's kind of you putting out your Vikings, taking resources from the places that you land, and then placing them out on your map so that you score objectives, etc. But it's really cool. Yeah,
you get like longboats that have got like special objectives that you have to fulfill. So you have to go and gain those resources on your home map, but also you have to be careful where you put your Viking, because if you put your Viking somewhere, you always have to play everyone has to play their Viking adjacent to another Viking. So whether that's their own Viking or someone else's, you'll always be placing Vikings down. So you might give away loads of resources. It's really cool. And it's in their line of like Acropolis, this, and there's going to be another one. There's going to be 3 of them that are like really thinky, crunchy games that are quite quick, that cost around £25.
Yeah. Very reasonable.
And it's just, the art's really cool. The little Viking meeples are adorable. I love them. They're so good.
We saw the Acropolis expansion.
We saw the Acropolis expansion,
which will be out in Essen.
Yeah.
At Essen.
Yeah.
Which adds the little tiles, dual-coloured tiles.
Yes, it adds some extra tiles, and some of those tiles I've got dual, like the location, so you might have like the park and the blue, like green and blue, yellow and red, and that kind of thing. But it also gives you, there are 16 cards in the deck that are different, and you are essentially building shapes and specific arrangements in your Acropolis. And if you build the specific arrangements, you get to take one of these special tiles, but you also get to take part of the statue of Athena. If you manage to do all of the shapes within your Acropolis, you get to build the entire statue of Athena. If you've built the entire statue of Athena, every stone you have left over, stones are the currency in Acropolis, they're normally 1 point at the end of the game, but for every stone you have left over at the end, you will get 5 points per stone, which is pretty cool. I don't normally have that many stones left, but that can be the difference between winning and losing, 5 points, I suppose. And it's just a cool, different idea to make the way you play the game different, I guess, which is cool.
Yeah, we saw giant Pac-Man Corridor.
Yeah, Pac-Man Corridor, which launched at ukge.
I think everybody bought.
Pretty much.
And I think there weren't many copies left of that. And then we saw the giant stomp the plank.
Yeah, giant stomp the plank was cool.
The elephants in that are so... I mean, the elephants in the original version are great, but these are like chunky
big
elephants.
Ones, yeah.
They're really cool. What else did we see?
We saw like Shackleton's Base and the Moon. They're 2 games. Like Shackleton Base was in proper prototype form, like stuck together form, but it still looks quite nice. The Moon one was really cool. It had these it's like worker placement, but you have to put specific spacemen in your rover, and those specific space people have powers, specific things. So where you're placing your worker, they're giving you certain benefits. That was really fun.
And then we saw Slide.
We saw Slide.
You couldn't buy it anywhere because it was
sold out. Max bought them all. Max.
Which is like a number game, but when you take a card, you can't put it in the space. You have to slide some things up, and then if there are two of the same number next to each other,
that's what you want.
Yeah, because that's gonna mean that you can
score a multiplier.
Not score those points.
Oh yeah, because you want 0 points, so you can take them away. So you want them,
So if you had a 10 and a 10 next to each other, great, because that's not going to be 10 points that you need.
But you end up getting to the end of the game. You think you're doing really well, and you get to the end of the game, you have like such a limited amount of space that you're going to have to break up some of those pairs.
Yeah. So they had lots of exciting games on this.
They did, yeah, some really cool stuff. They had Courtesans as well. I think it was called, the one where you're playing like different into the queens. Like there's this really nice cloth in the middle, and you're playing to either side of that. That looks really nice. Yeah, and they had obviously Cyclades and all the upgrades After Us and
Doggerland.
Yeah, they had quite a few.
Loads of things.
Quite a few games.
Busy.
Big old. They were the major sponsor, hence why they had like massive imagination gaming and stuff. And all of that good stuff.
It was.
Yeah, that was pretty much. Oh no, and we also had a meeting with No Drinks on the Table. To talk about Divide and Conquer, which is a game coming to Kickstarter as well. We had a play of that, didn't we?
We did.
That was really cool. Divide and Conquer is just basically Conkers, but Conkers is banned now. So this is a game of Conkers that you can actually play in the playground, because it's a card game, and you'll have like the triangle pyramid set up like you have in Seven Wonders Duel, and you're taking a Conker, and then if you have a card that's face down, you then take the type of rope, flip the card. Obviously, you give that option to the next player to be able to take that card. And you want a mix of Conkers and then a mix of like hardeners to make your Conkers stronger when you're going into battle. Adorable artwork, really quick, fun game. Well worth trying.
And the designer or the creator or the person who made the game is really sort of personable. You can tell the passion that she has for her product.
Yes.
And that shines through. So, that is definitely one to look out for. We'll also be doing a review of that.
Yeah, we're doing a review of that, and we will hopefully get them on the podcast as well at some point. Yeah, that's coming to Kickstarter soon, so definitely one to look out for. 100%.
So we were busy on Friday.
Yeah.
Busy.
We bought some bits.
We did do a bit of open gaming.
We did too. We did play some Star Wars Unlimited. We played some Six Nymphs. Yeah.
We got to speak to one of Meeples Abroad, which was really cool, because we've not spent a lot of time with them.
So that's always really nice to chat to those people.
And Boredom Games Weymouth.
Yes, down page. Yeah.
We had the Star Wars Unlimited tournament, which didn't turn out.
It wasn't really a tournament.
No, that's what board game Meeples said.
Yeah. Something like that.
But we have realised that our decks are very limited and don't have any cool cards in them, so we will be updating our deck so that we can play better against them.
The only way we can do that, though, is by buying more booster packs, because we need better cards to do that.
We will
don't have those
out.
Cards.
We have lots of
that
cards. We will sort it out.
Yeah, but
we still need to finish the collection too.
We do, yeah. Still need 4 or 5 cards. 4 or 5 cards. So we need to do that as well.
So we did try to go around the halls in between the meetings, but it was more meeting heavy. More
meetings than anything. But we did see some of our friends. We saw shirts and merch. Our good friends there who helped produce our own merch. So our t-shirts and jumpers that we wore at the con. Saw lots of lovely Instagrammers and people that I've never met before in my life, and obviously people I have met many a time, many a Sunday. But yeah, Friday was really good. Really enjoyed it. It was busy. It was definitely the busy. I think it was the busiest of 3 days.
Well, I think somebody told me it might have been the Meeples Abroad guy.
Yeah.
That there were 30,000 people on Friday.
Yeah, huge amount of people. But yeah, felt busy. I felt busy. It was all non-stop. And that was good. Went to bed, slept, woke up in the morning,
we were going to take the children on Saturday,
We
but
were thinking about
it. Decided it was probably going to be too busy.
Yeah.
So we asked very nicely if your mum would look after them.
Yep.
And had another day at the expo to this time explore the halls, really.
Yeah, we went solo.
So we went sort of up and down.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Car boot sailed it.
Car boot sailed it. We met up with Geo14.
Or Jake. He does have a name. He's not on Android.
I know, but I just call him Geo14.
Because you want him to be an Android?
We played, which I was really pleased about, Project L.
Yes, we did play
which
Project
is a really
L.
good game, so I'm looking to get that soon.
It is a good game.
We also were introduced to Echidna Shuffle.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And I am rubbish at Echidna Shuffle. It's essentially a children's game where you are moving echidnas. They have to go and collect bugs and then drop them off at their tree stumps. The tree stumps are placed out by your opponents, so probably quite a way away from where your bug is.
Yeah.
Or if you're me, you put the tree stump right where the bug is and allow your opponent to get a free drop-off.
Oh, yeah.
There are certain arrows and ways that the echidnas can move. So whilst it looks like a children's game, it actually there is some strategy to it. And you do have to think about what's nice about it is you roll a dice and you get, say you got a 4, you get 9 movement between 2 turns. So you get a 4 on the first turn, you would get a 5 on the second turn.
Yeah.
Someone might get a 6 on the first turn, but they'd only get a 3 on the second turn.
Yeah. Or
on the first turn.
Or a 2 and a 7, or a 7 and a 2.
So you're always going to get 9 turns, but between 2 turns. You're always going to get 9 moves.
You always get 9 moves
between
2 turns. It just depends how quickly you do the first one.
But, you know, the echidnas can get trafficked up, basically, so they can't
blocked.
move.
Yeah.
And you get stuck on a circle you don't want to get stuck on because you want to be going in a different direction.
Yeah.
So we actually then ended up playing it again today with the kids.
Yeah.
It's
really
and
good.
I wasn't as bad at it the second time round.
No,
I was
fun,
pretty poor the first time.
Really good little game. Quite thicky and can be quite mean to each other and stuff. It's fun.
What else did we see on Saturday?
We did a lot of things. We went around. We saw a lot of cool stuff. We just upped down, didn't we? Really, we just saw all the stalls and the vendors, and
I think we were just taking it in on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing particularly stands out, but I know we saw lots of things. I think we're probably just tired now.
Yeah.
So our brains are like mush.
And all the days blend in as well. A lot of the stuff that we see blends in with other days.
So today we took...
Oh, we played Aqua.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We did play Aqua at Asmodee.
Played a lovely game of Aqua. I really like it.
I do,
I probably should have bought it. But
yeah, I think I'm thinking that too.
I think it will be a purchase soon.
Yeah.
You essentially are...
Acropolis thing.
Putting out tiles, and they have to match in colour, and then when you make a hexagon of the same colour, you can then put out that particular fish, and then when you have groups of fish, you can put out a larger, like dolphin or shark or ray.
Yep.
And if you have 4 or more of the same colour by the side of that fish, you score a multiplier, etc. You score the reefs.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
Really good. And again, Vincent Trey Art, so immediately sold on that. We played that. What did we have to do? And we played some. That's when we played Loot, and we played some other Evil Inc. and things like that. At Hachette, we played some games. Yeah, we just played a few little games, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just to take it in and just to chill and.
It was quite busy on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got in the gaming that we could, but mostly it was just a look at... Oh, we went to Button Shy on Saturday.
We did.
We didn't know much about Button Shy, really, only that everyone seemed to be mentioning it. So we're like, we probably should go to Button Shy. And they do wallet-sized card games.
Yep.
All different types. For a really reasonable price. I think they're like £10 each.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, they look really interesting. I haven't tried any of them out yet. We bought 3 of them.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see how they play. But I like the idea that you can take 3 wallet-sized games out with you.
And they're not like easy, quick 2-minute games as well. No. They're quite strategic. Yeah. Some of them have got quite a puzzle and quite a bit of strategy to them. So yeah, I'm excited to.
So if you want to know the ones to get, speak to Board Runner.
Yeah, speak to Max. He knows all.
He basically was their sales rep.
Also Gareth loves them as well. Yeah. As a board game meeple of the Meeple.
I think everybody loves them. I think we're late to the old Button Shy. Party.
Yeah, but we don't go anywhere, do we? So we have no need for a portable game.
Well, we do.
We're going to have to start going out now. I'm going to go out. I'm going to leave the house. See you later. Bye, everyone.
So, I mean, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move to Sunday. Let's do it.
So today we took kids because we know that Sundays are
quiet.
Usually the quieter day, and it
beautiful. Was so good.
It was like nice and calm.
Yeah,
you could see the
stuff.
The storefront type thing.
Yeah, you can see the front. You could actually go to the vendors and go, "Oh, look, I'm standing next to you and talking to your face."
Games, which we hadn't even been able to get anywhere near. On Friday and Saturday because it was like rammed.
Yeah.
We actually found the giant Rafter 5.
Yeah.
And we could see the Oink game.
That was our mission really with the kids. Let's play all the giant games, like every massive game. So like the Imagination Station had all the giant Koali, the giant Pylos, the giant everything going on, Squadro and all those games. There was the giant like Dobbles and things like that from that other company that is falling out of my head. Asmodee, that's the ones. You can tell I'm tired. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool big games. Wasn't there?
It was good. It was good. Kids just wanted to go find bigger and bigger games.
Yeah, we did. We found the badges. We did the trading of the badges to get the super robber sheep from the Catan.
Yeah.
We played Outrun the Bear.
Yes, we did.
A little bit of that.
We did. We asked to see a few rounds of it, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we were tempted to buy it because we've heard a lot about it, and also it's something that you can't readily get.
Yeah, I never see it.
And it's essentially what I would describe as going on a bear hunt, but the game version.
It's the end of the going on a bear hunt story.
Being chased by the bear. And there are different terrain types. The different terrain types do different things. So, like if you go on the slippery mud, you have to go back to the beginning of the mud. If you go on the river, you get to move forward one. And there's like take that cards and equipment cards that do different things. But it's just really fun. And the guy who demoed it, I think there were a lot of demos from All About Games.
Yeah.
He just really sold it really well.
He did.
He clearly loves it. And you could see his passion for it. And so he made us sort of really love it as well. And the kids played. Not that it is a kids' game particularly, but the kids enjoyed playing it. And yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And we saw Huff No More with Sanaka Stack. And
That's not what it's called. It's called Sakana Stack.
That's what I said to you.
No, your dyslexia switched those letters.
No, also the box is like really far away from me, so I can't actually see
the
words. And also we went to see our friends at Singer Games, and we played their new Water, the farming game. It's a kids' game. It reminds me a bit of Dirty Pig from Cosmos, but yeah, it's got a bit of fun, take that East elements to it, and that was lovely.
We took the kids to the Gecko Run wall.
We did, yeah.
Which is really cool, which is a Thames and Cosmos kind of marble run, but you can stick it to a
window
or a wall, and it's got, you said, nanotechnology or something like that.
Nanotechnology.
Infinite play, because you can reposition the sticky pads many times, as long as you don't stand on them, etc.
Yeah, and you can wipe them down. And
basically you make a track down the window.
So we don't have to do that thing that we did during lockdown with toilet roll. Yeah. We can make it now with a big plastic lizard thing.
So that was cool.
That was really good.
I really rate the imagination gaming area.
Absolutely.
Like, we spent so much time in there. Corday played a game. I posted it in stories. I can't remember what it's called now. Let me find it.
Yeah, I mean, the Imagination Station is great. There were great games for all ages. There's like small fries games, so Nat's games from like birth upwards. Those things that you can play. Huge amount
Bubble
of games.
Stories we played.
Yeah.
So the one that you went to play Lorcana today.
Yes, I did.
And Corday and I were playing Lampogo Blocks, which I love because it's a maths game. Essentially, it's maths questions, but they think they're playing a game. And it's got like the number bond bars, and they have to manipulate them to work out the answer to this question. Now, there's like 6 levels. The first ones are like number bonds to 10, find all the ways you can make 10. And she did that. And then it's like, okay, so if you have 6 and 4, what does that make? And then I had to match it up. And she got up to the hardest level, which was matching. So say it was 10 and something, and 6 and 5, and she had to find the missing number. Yeah. And she was loving it.
Yeah.
But she could tell when she'd got it right, because it sort of has that mechanism in it.
That you fills the shape.
That you can see whether you're right or not.
Yeah.
And she absolutely loved it, so I think we've got to get that for her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which reminds me of another game that we saw, Box Live.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is a really cool mathsy kind of racing game.
Which is run by an app. You answer questions on the app, and then you move your robots. It's kind of like for the classroom, or you can have it for individual. But the little
robot things, characters, are like math symbols, aren't they?
They're the math symbols, but they've also got like, some of them got football, some of them got basketball, some of them got like tennis racket. Yeah, they're so cute.
It's really engaging for young people.
Really interested in that, and the guy who made it actually struggled at school.
Yeah.
So really is in tune with how children might feel if they're finding maths and things difficult, which, as a teacher, I absolutely love that, and I think it would be, really beneficial for children to have access to something like that. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
We also played the giant. So having bought the small corridor Pac-Man, the one thing we wanted to do today was play the giant corridor Pac-Man, and we did manage to do it before we left today, so that was really cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It feels like you've not got enough time to do everything, and you do so much, and it feels like talking about it. We've talked about it mostly in under an hour, and talked about most of the things we've done. But obviously, we did so much more. We saw so many more people, and that is all stuff that we'll go into more and more.
We did have to spend a long time searching for dice.
We did have to search a right die. Well, we do a thing every time we go to a convention. Our small people want to buy dice, but this year
seemed to be really.
Dice were well expensive this year. I must admit, the prices of the dices.
It wasn't too bad at the dice.
Yeah, the one we bought from in the end.
Forge.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think their prices were pretty much the same as last year's prices, if only just a little.
And I understand the prices of resin and all that.
But some of the smaller stands selling dice, I know that some of them were like handmade, which is amazing. Yeah. But I can't justify paying like £50 for a dice.
Incredible work, and some of them were. But there were a lot of places that were doing dice components and stuff, and it seemed very, very pricey. But that's just me.
But maybe it's the materials for making the dice.
100%, 100%.
People have to charge what they have to charge, but it just seemed like the price for dice was quite expensive.
In the end, we got the dice. So that was good. And I said before we would go into UKG, I said, right, that's it. We're not, because every year kids have bought these massive, Aircon and at UKG last year brought massive D20s. And I was like, we are absolutely not having any more massive D20s. We do not need any more massive D20s. And we came home with 2 massive D20s. But that's because the massive D20s were cheaper than the small dice. So
they look like, so we've got a blue one and a pink one, and the writing is kind of Harry Potter-esque, I would say.
Yeah.
On the numbers on the dice are Harry Potter-esque. But they're like blue but clear.
They look like glass, don't they?
They're really cool. They're really cool.
They're really, really nice. So yeah,
so they were happy.
They were happy.
That was the main.
Happy children, happy life children.
So,
and then we got an ice cream.
Yeah, from outside. And we got the bus. We got the shuttle bus, which was a new thing.
We never get the bus. We normally walk. We got the bus there. It was like, oh,
yeah.
It was living the dream.
Yeah.
Highlight.
So I think, we should probably wrap up because people are like, what are you whittling on about?
Ice cream.
Was never meant to be the
UKG episode.
Yeah,
this is just
us.
Whistle-stop tour of roughly things we saw and things. And then obviously we met so many people. It feels like we shouldn't name names just because
we'll forget someone.
I know we have even named a few people, but that's not the point. We will forget people, and then people will be upset, and I don't want to do that. So we met everyone and anyone.
If we met you,
who said hello or said hello to anyone else. If we met you, thank you so much for stopping off and saying hello. If we played games with you, also thank you for agreeing to spend some time with us.
I also now know what some people look like.
We know
no idea before.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's always good when you can.
I did have to say to you a couple of times, "Who's that?"
Yeah,
and then you went so and so, and I was like,
"Oh,
okay."
Yeah. So it was really nice to see everyone at UKGE, and I look forward to the next time that we do a meet up. We're looking forward to all the conventions in the future.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether there'll be any more conventions, board gaming conventions, big ones.
Tabletop Scotland.
Potentially Tabletop Scotland. We'll discuss that with you, listeners.
If anyone's been, has any advice, or tell us what it's like.
Tell us whether it's worth.
Let us know.
Journeying to Tabletop Scotland with the children for a holiday in Edinburgh. Who the heck knows?
Make an informed decision.
We will make an informed decision, but not right now, because right now it's time for bed.
Because I have to get up at ridiculous o'clock.
Ha ha ha! Okay, amazing. Even though this is probably going to come out and you'd already gone.
Yep.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode. And as always, this episode is sponsored by the people who ran the library at UKGE.
And
Rent, Shuffle, and Roll. And if you use code GITG50, that will give you 50% off your first month of renting, shuffling, and rolling. That's all I have to say. www.rentshuffleandroll.co.uk and use the code GITG50. Thank you, Rent, Shuffle and Roll, for being a sponsor of Getting to Games on Air, a podcast about board games and the people who play them. And remember to go to a board game.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say, remember to get into games so that you can get into UKGE next year.
Remember to book, because it is I can tell you exactly when it is. Hold on, 2025. It is going to be the 29th, 30th, 31st, and 1st of June. So get booked in, and remember,
because the hotels do book up quick, I think.
Yeah, they were mostly probably already booked up because everyone's already booking as of today.
You can come and stay with us if you like.
That is not going to be a thing, but
just have people
there's a big park and you can pitch some tents. All right, and remember to get into games. Thank you very much. Bye.